Welcome to Rauta City 5. This week we obviously have five independent or small releases here from various labels, from various countries, and from various genres. First we go to Germany with a band called Urza and the Omnipresence of Laws. Now this is an album of 61 minutes approximately of funeral doom meeting with death. And unfortunately for so many people out there, this is not always a good combination. Now, basically, Urza is doing everything just fine, being very heavy on both, riff-wise and atmospheric parts, and also obviously being very doomy when it comes to tempo, when it comes to song lengths and all that stuff. So very heavy stuff with slow tempo, and from that point going like this dark, brutal place. But there's one major problem with an album lasting 61 minutes and having only a few tracks. That is repetition. This album is all about basically doing way too lengthy tracks in order to build up this kind of atmosphere that is about to crush you, and once more crush you. Now, when you have songs spanning like 15 or 20 minutes, it usually gets really to a point like maybe this was more than just enough. Now, atmospheric wise, there is not much room for bitching, moaning, complaining about this album, but it's just too much on one go. I mean, those riffs are not that great that they manage to support this whole length and repetition. To be honest, if all those tracks were cut in half, maybe it would be just like, okay, we can deal with it. But this is only for acquired and select taste. Those who are all about worshipping, funeral doom, doesn't matter if the songs are even 60 minutes long, then you are here for a treat, or at least some kind of treat. But for the rest of us, it's just like great idea, but not so good execution. So unless you're a hardcore funeral doom fan, I would pass this one. Next step takes us to Finland and to a totally different genre. If Ursa had only few tracks, like 5 tracks and 61 minutes, this is the opposite. This is over 40 tracks and over 70 minutes. So this is a compilation by Napalm Ted. You're pretty damn right accurate when you feel this coming from Napalm Death. This is a compilation of smaller releases packaged into just one release. So those of you who have missed the digital releases or vinyl releases by Napalm Ted and you want your dose of grinding action, well, this is a gift for you. If you, on the other hand, are grind allergic, there is no way this album will be, or compilation will be kind of a pleasing thing to hear, because, well, 70 over 70 minutes of grind tracks is just overwhelming even for a fan. Now, Napalm Ted has been kind of a consistent in what they do. Short tracks, to the point, having fun, fooling around with their music. But it's not like they are Napalm Ted when it comes to, say, creativity and catchiness of the songs. It's more like these guys are just doing quite nice, grindcore, death grind, whatever. But it's not like they're winning awards with their music. I mean, genre-wise, totally cool. But is this an album or band with tracks that are just being the killer tracks or defining tracks of grindcore? I don't think so. Napalm Ted is a nice band operating in a like demo level of sorts and a compilation as such, but not beyond that, I'm afraid. So it's kind of cool that they decided to go for this kind of a compilation, because it's really a kind of a favor to fans out there, but the rest of us, probably not. We'll keep going with Finland for the rest of the show, it seems, because this one is also from Finland. This is a thrash metal band with a really cool cover, in my opinion. This is Tasteful Turmoil, and the album called The Phantom Fear, with this kind of a skull logo, released by Universe Records. This is a band of, well, not too known name. 4 youngsters from a little bit northern part of Finland, playing kind of old school thrash metal and maybe a little crossover-ish stuff here. Basically doing all the stuff as, you know, how the genre is going. So quite nice in the terms of, you know, supporting the thrash metal genre, which is not too vital these days. Basically, Tasteful Turmoil is doing everything just alright. They are creating thrash metal the way it was meant to be, the way it was still going to be when we changed from 1980s to 2019 and all that stuff. But these guys are not creating very good songs, not catchy riffs, and as such, the whole production is somewhat like between mediocre and decent. These guys are like almost at the top of their game. At the same time, this makes me feel they are not there yet. Kind of like a demo level operation, but a little bit better. And as such, I can hope that they would be, you know, pushing their game a little bit further. They have the right ideas, but the seasoning is not there yet. Sorry for my food comparison, but that's how it goes. And we shall go on with Finnish thrash metal. This is called Terrific Verdict and Wheel of Fortune, a debut album from a band that started already in the late 80s. Now these are on the top, like opposite to the previous band, Old Farts. Basically, they started back in the 80s, belonging to a first wave of Finnish thrash metal, but they kind of quit before they managed to step up to the album game, and well, they just vanished from the map for a long time. Now, earlier this year, in one of my reviews, I actually presented a compilation where Terrific Verdict was presented with the demo and whatnot being used once again, and it was kind of nice to have this kind of old school thrash metal getting back there, but that was old material and all that stuff. Now this is new stuff, and in fact it's quite good. The vocalist is not probably the best in the thrash metal business. There is something that kind of annoys me, not annoying, but feels a little bit off. Like maybe the vocalist could step up his game a little bit more. But in generally speaking, you know, I like how the album goes. It's thrash metal the old school way. Some weird riffs, which kind of create this kind of out of place kind of a feeling. So it's not like this is Slayer, Megadeth, or Anthrax kind of a thing. But it's very much like the 80s thrash metal, how it, you know, started, how it evolved, and all that stuff. So quite a nice album, but it's not like great, but totally showing a little bit of what potential there might be lying underneath. So definitely an album worth checking out if you're into thrash metal. And last but not least, we're still in Finland, and I'm gonna present you a band that is kind of a not super group, but not a new group as such. This is Hedonihil with the album called I or One. This is the background image, you know, having the track list. Then what we have here is the cover on the CD as well. And this is pretty damn cool because I like the skull design. Now, this is not just any skull. It's actually the logo of the band. As you can see, it clearly says Hedonihil. Not the best name of the band, I guess, but who cares? It's just a name. Now, all these guys here are known from various bands, but mostly what put these guys together is the fact that they all Swallow the Sun members. So this is definitely a side project kind of a thing to go along with the main band, but just different breed. Now this was sold to me as a death metal band, but to be honest, this is more black metal approach than death metal. Surely there's some riffs and growling vocals which are more tied to a death metal style, but mostly to me it seems like this is a kind of a black metal hybrid with the focus being more on the black metal. Mostly, kind of a fast-paced songwriting, or playing, and the ideas with the riffs is just kind of a fierce. It's kind of a like, let's not waste too much time creating this one to be a kind of a perfect black metal or death metal release, but more kind of like, this kind of a improvised stuff. And it kind of works. I mean, there's lots of energy with the band, and it clearly shows that these are no newbies to their instruments or bands. But still, to me, this sounds a little bit, it's like rushed. I mean, the general feeling is quite okay, and most of the songs are, just quite okay. But it's like that. There are no killer songs, killer chorus parts, or catchy riffs that you just kind of like, no matter what the other songs are, this is the part when I just gonna go full in. To me, this album called I1 is just like, yeah, guys, I know what you're after. You are basically doing a demo with a full-length, album format, but maybe you should have put out a couple of demos before actually entering the studio. It's not like a lack of experience, but maybe it feels, like I said, a little bit rushed. So it's there, but it's not finished. So maybe this is just an opening, for the new band. Like, we need a therapy project on the side with Swallow the Sun, and we're just gonna do, gonna keep doing this kind of faster material, the material that doesn't fit Swallow the Sun. But let's just go on with it. I want to get these riffs out of my head. Maybe this is such a band. I don't know. I wouldn't recommend this for fans of Swallow the Sun because this is totally different. Not bad, but it could be a lot better with this experience and output these guys are holding back. Now, like I said, totally different kind of music, from old school thrash to grindcore to funeral doom and then kind of black death metal hybrid. So different albums for different kind of people. Hope you will find some of these interesting. The links below to you go check out if you're interested in these bands. Looking forward to hear from you. What do you think of these bands, projects and whatnot? And I guess we're gonna see you with another review coming your way. Take care.